Good afternoon. My name is Fallon Barrett, and along with my team member Douglas Furia, we will be presenting our research project based on the case study 49 Cities by WorkAC, which is a study conducted in 2007 on the history of urbanism by looking at various cities and determining the factors that contribute to their overall form, function, and design of these 49 cities. Through multiple research methods, they were able to sort and categorize these cities in order to produce a ranking system that illustrated the benefits and drawbacks in the designs.
The aspect of the study we found most interesting was the use of a fear timeline that illustrated the most important part of the research, showing how fears and desires play a big part in the design of cities. We decided to further examine the idea of fear in relation to urban design and focus our attention on infrastructure. Through the course of this summer session, we took the case study and our thesis and broke it down into discourse, methods, and context. While analyzing the discourses in 49 cities, we are able to pull out three main themes. 1. Ecology in relation to the city. 2. The necessity of visionary thinking. And 3. Fear as the context and impetus for urban design. WorkAC did a great job of documenting a fear timeline that pinpointed specific events and design strategies that would be thought of as solutions to those events. After careful consideration, we decided that fear was the most logical area to shift our focus, and we came up with our hypothesis that by examining fears, desires, and visionary thinking ideas from a diverse body of community-driven urban plans, we can draw out principles that, when applied in a utopian environment, approximate the communal idea of a city.
From there, we move on to methods, in which we show that we have narrowed our focus to the fear timeline and determined the methods used to conduct the research associated with the case study. The methods that were most prominent were historical interpretive, qualitative, quantitative, and correlational. By examining the research process, which included numerous resources, creating variables, and data analysis, we were able to get a clear understanding on how we should approach our research into further developing the concept of fear and how we can tie those same methods into looking more into our own approach to fear and infrastructure. Some of the approaches that we decided on were the qualitative method, in which we believe that qualitative observation of what fears are recurrent throughout the community input to urban plans would reveal several factors, but our focus would be specifically on city infrastructure and the fear factors involved. As for the correlational method, we will analyze the variables associated with the dangers of infrastructure failure as it relates to the fear timeline and how it affects the communal idea of a city. The correlational research tactics that we will use are mapping, questionnaires, relationship studies, and collecting data through surveys and observation. Some of the correlations will be between water contamination and city abandonment and decay in relation to decrease in population, health and wellness in relation to death and disease, and economic decline in relation to job loss. We'll also use a combination of historical and performance-based research in order to evaluate how city infrastructure and its maintenance or lack thereof has impacted various components of city life. History is important in understanding types of interventions used in the past.
Finally, we looked at context, where we show the context associated with WorkAC's 49 cities and our choices of context in completing our own research. The three areas of context from our interpretation that WorkAC followed were fear, sight, and contemporaneous visions. The context in the case study led us to develop more on our context of fear, program, and existing infrastructure. We have chosen to show through our research project how fear can shape our future infrastructure, specifically in relation to water quality, with the purpose of informing and giving better solutions to water infrastructure design and the need to do so. We decided to use the water crisis in Flint, Michigan as a prime example of existing infrastructure and how important infrastructure is to quality of life. Flint has experienced years of issues due to the current water crisis. Those issues include economic issues associated with resolving the water conditions. They have had numerous health issues with water contamination, lead poisoning, and reports of Legionnaires' disease, in some cases of death. Politically, they have uncovered political corruption and now have to deal with the revamping of city ordinances. Some of these events are ongoing. The fear factors we have associated with infrastructure are infrastructure failure, disease and death, economy, politics, and pollution. All of these factors, in one way or another, are associated with infrastructure and can be used to take the precautions necessary to avoid another crisis. Flint is not the only city that has faced these problems, but we hope it can serve as a case study for other cities experiencing similar issues. The program of our project involves developing a means of making infrastructure interactive for the purpose of engaging the public and highlighting infrastructure systems to increase confidence and improve perception. This requires transparency and clear communication from the government about the progress that has been made. However, we believe that Flint could also build public confidence and demonstrate progress by putting parts of the water treatment process, such as bioswales and new innovative water filtration systems, on public display. Confidence could also be built by allowing the public to interact with safe, clean water at splash pads and at public fountain displays. The change we want to see as a result of our research project is a more proactive than reactive approach to issues related to infrastructure. The removing of the out of sight, out of mind mentality and embracing a more hands-on and safe approach to infrastructure will benefit the community on all levels, economically, politically, and in terms of health and wellness. Fear has a complex relationship with urban infrastructure design, but analyzing our fears can give us the power to address risks and find a better way forward.